Today on CityCast Salt Lake, something big is happening at 801 Day this year. Salt Lake City will be unveiling the new mural for Out of the Blue, aka the 9th and 9th whale. So let's take a walk down memory lane. How did this random ass sculpture become such an icon in our city? I am Ali Vallarta. I'm here with executive producer Emily Means. Hey, Em.
Hey, Ali. How you doing?
I'm so excited to talk about the whale.
Me too.
My second favorite topic after the Hoberman Arch.
Oh my God. I am absolutely thrilled and weirdly emotional. Thinking about the whale. I don't know what's going on.
It's the moon.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. We really want to invite you to 801 Day. It's going to be a hilarious time. This is our annual celebration of all things Salt Lake City. It's a holiday that we invented because we're like that. Saturday, August 1st, 801. Get it? We're excited that 801 Day is on a Saturday this year. We're going to have the party at the Milk Block, but actually the party's going to kind of incorporate all of the 9 line, all of 900 South, the coolest street in Salt Lake City. So it's a block party, 5 to 9 p.m. Your whole family is welcome. Your out-of-towners visiting are welcome. They're going to learn so much about Salt Lake City. And the very, very special thing that's happening this year is that at exactly 6 p.m., we will be unveiling. I'm like, Salt Lake City will be unveiling, because if people hate it, it's not us, okay? Yeah. Salt Lake City will be unveiling the new mural that will don the 9th and 9th whale evermore. So come to 801 Day, presented by Rocky Mountain Power. We put a link in the show notes for you to RSVP. We'd love if you did. And then also you'll get a little reminder so you can, remember.
Yeah, we are thrilled to share this moment with the community at large, with the Salt Lake City Arts Council. I mean, as we'll talk about, the whale is an icon. Oh my God. This is a huge thing for us.
Literally. Okay. Where do we begin? So in 2019, and just to say, the reason this is a story worth telling is because if you had the privilege of moving here after 2023, you moved to Salt Lake City during a time of whale embrace. You moved to Salt Lake City and you would never know that the 9th and 9th whale was at one time the most hated entity in this entire city. People were ready to up and move because of how much they hated it.
And so you may be confused by that because looking at it now, what's not to like? I mean,
it's darling.
I think it's perfect. It's on T-shirts. It's, children ask their parents to drive multiple times around this roundabout just so they can look at the whale.
Yep.
So yeah, let's go back to those dark times, Ali.
2019, baby, before we even knew what was about to hit us.
I mean, for people who are new here, you may just know the whale as the whale, but it has a God-given name, a government name as well. I want to just do a little bit of, quick info session on the whale. Technically, at the 11th East and 9th South roundabout, we all call it the 9th and 9th whale. But if you're looking for the actual coordinates, 11th East, 9th South, in the middle of a roundabout. And the whale itself, the sculpture, is called Out of the Blue. And it is by a local artist, Stephen Kessler. And then the mural on top of the whale, embracing the whale, is called Point of Reference by Mike Murdoch. And that's what's going to change. That's what we're announcing at 801 Day, is this mural. So, I mean, it was always intended to be this way, that the mural would change every few years. Yeah. And I also think that this is just kind of city government at its finest, because the city created a new roundabout at this intersection, 2019-ish, and they actually designed it for public art. So, if you go and see the whale, you'll see that it's kind of like on a platform. And that was always intended to be there so that we could put art upon it. So I just really love that. And I love when we can, flex a little bit of creative muscle as a city, especially in something as mundane as a roundabout.
Yeah. I think the process is kind of important here because in true city fashion, when, they installed this roundabout, they wanted a piece of public art for the center of it. A, because like a roundabout is a great place for public art. And B, I remember hearing conversations at the time about how like actually when you install a roundabout, you want there to be something large and sort of obstructive in the middle because you don't want people to be looking across the roundabout from them when they turn, right? It relies on, roundabouts are built on trust. You need traffic to continue moving. And so like people, when they get freaked out about like, is it my turn? Do I go?
Yeah.
You should just be looking left and right. And so obstructing views helps people feel more comfortable at the roundabout. This was like sort of an interesting and nerdy piece of it that I love.
Safety, street safety.
So the city, like the Salt Lake Art Design Board decided, they opened up applications for artists. This was in 2019, you guys. This is so long ago. And they initially selected this like different proposal. And then members of the board were like, oh, we kind of hate it. Like, I mean, and if you imagine what we could have had, like it was one of the proposals at the time, which is, to be clear, like beautiful, but just so wildly different, was like a bunch of kind of metal rods.
Oh.
Right.
Well, so art is subjective, I guess.
It's more like what you picture when you think like, public art installation, right? Very abstract, like very industrial, but like such a far cry from the Dr. Seuss ass situation that we like ended up with, which is so perfect. So I've been like, Will day one, just to be clear. I've been Will day one.
Okay. Yeah. Can we just look up the receipts here and see if Ali has always been for the whale?
You can. We made an episode in April 2022 where I was like, I'm pro whale. But what happened is like, true municipal bureaucracy fashion, the city did like endeavor to have a good faith, like public comment sort of process. They had a survey, a community survey that they say had over 100 responses. They had public info sessions, board meetings that were open to the public. They had an East Liberty Park community organization, which is basically the like Liberty Park neighborhood council meeting about this where people could weigh in. And then when the whale was chosen, of course, what we heard from members of the community was, when did this happen? Why weren't we asked how we felt about this? Which is like so classic, right?
It's so classic.
People were pissed. And like what happened that's like, I think so unique from normally when people are pissed at a city decision and like feel like they missed the input process is that we actually got two camps. We actually got warfare. We got whale people versus gnome people.
And I mean, we have to say the gnomes were there before the whale. The gnomes were there before the whale. This was a community effort where people just started putting garden gnomes at this roundabout. Very cute, very silly. But Ali, like really looking back, thinking back at like you've explained it, the warfare that was happening here.
Oh my God.
It wasn't Salt Lake at its finest. No. Like people were saying like, why would we have a whale sculpture in a landlocked state? Because it's not that serious, guys. Like, who cares? What a whale doesn't belong in Utah. And I thought, like that kind of sentiment was quite ironic because this is a neighborhood full of in this house we believe signs. So to be like, no, whales don't belong here is, I mean, that's an interesting stake to be putting in the ground.
And there was a group of people, and I mean, I think they were a little bit overrepresented because the gnomes were so cute. They were like a perfect local news story. They got picked up a lot. But there was a group of people who truly wanted no sculpture. They wanted just mulch and then little gnome sculptures instead, which I feel like is... had we gone that route today, we would be like, it's really time for a proper art install. You know what I mean? Like the gnomes were lovely. And I think...
So we got a pile of dirt here?
So there were peacemakers in all of this. I remember when Mike Murdoch was painting the mural on the whale. He was doing it in a gnome hat, which I thought was very sweet. Like, trying to bridge that divide. But there were also people who chose violence. Like I pulled a change.org petition from this time that has 700
when there's a petition.
707 signatures demanding that basically the gnomes stay and the whale not be installed, which is kind of wild. They even drag the kids into it. They say, the gnomes bring joy to those who live here, including our children. And then, boo,
think of the
all
children.
caps. Think of the children. A couple op-eds that were written in the Salt Lake Tribune that are particularly nasty. One guy who said he would rather see a moose, a bison, a bee, Harvey the milk cow, a groundhog, a squirrel. A 24-foot cricket would be amazing and a hell of a lot less expensive. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about this.
How does he know?
People tried to make it about the cost of the art. And then this particular line that I think is quite rude from a man named Scott Perry, who took it upon himself to write 2 different op-eds in the Salt Lake Tribune.
Oh. He had a lot of time on his hands.
He said, I think our local arts councils need to be shaken up a bit and replaced with people who possess at least a modicum of appreciation for good design, rather than those who get excited when the Hobby Lobby coupons arrive.
What a dick.
Very proud of himself, no doubt, Scott Perry.
I mean, listen,
dude.
Art is completely subjective, okay?
Perfect your bowling game. Do anything else.
Yeah. You may not like it, but that doesn't mean that everyone else who likes it has bad taste, okay?
That's such a good point, yeah. I thought Jason Stevenson, who at the time was the chair of like the East Liberty Park Community Council, he described the whale, and I thought this was very tasteful and also, you know, peacemaking, as an exclamation point in the neighborhood.
I mean, the point of public
That's
art,
aged well,
for better or worse, is to get people talking.
Mm-hmm.
And it did.
It did.
So, truly, the whale won.
Okay, Emily, let's talk about what's next for the whale. As we know, a new mural will be unveiled and then painted on the mall. And I'm going to be really honest here. I have deep anxiety about how this is going to go.
Do you think it will elicit the same response as it did the first time around?
I'm scared that it's going to be like disco demolition night at the Milk Block. I'm scared people are going to throw things. They're going to yell at me when I'm standing there on stage.
Because you chose the mural.
They're going to blame us. They're going to think CityCast picked this new mural. Because, I mean, if there's anything we've learned from this story, it's that it doesn't even matter what the artwork is at this point.
Yeah.
People are going to be upset about it. A, because being upset about it is sort of now endemic to the whole situation with the whale. And B, because change is hard. And
sure,
it was always the plan that the whale would get a new mural every few years. But I think, like, if you think about how many people have sweaters with the current mural, like the mural itself is part of the iconography of the whale. And so now you're going to, take that away from people. People don't like having things taken away from them.
I mean,
they're going to blame us.
I know. Well, listen, what do they say? No press is bad press. So this could be huge for us, Ali. Actually, yes, we chose the new mural. Direct your complaints toward us. You can tag us on Instagram at CityCastSLC.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think you're right, Ali. And I think that's a funny angle that, like, you know, the rainbowness of it all is such a huge part of the whale's identity. And, you know, it's all over stickers and flags. There's that pride flag with the whale on it that they sell at Cahoots. It's just part of who it is, what it is, and the way that it's our point of reference for the whale in Salt Lake City. So it will be a big shakeup for sure, but that doesn't mean it'll be bad. I'm trying to go into this, glass half full, y'all. We need to be open. And again, recognize that art is subjective and you may not like it now, but hey, maybe you will later.
Mm-hmm. Well, I also think you're pointing at something, Emily, that's so cool about the whale, which is if you are someone who works in public art, this is the best possible scenario that people embrace a piece of public art like this. Like, I went looking because I was curious how many pieces Salt Lake City has in its like public art collection. Over 130. I could name 5. I care about 2. Right?
And one of those,
one of those is the whale. The other one is the giant I still am not sure. I think it's an apricot in marmalade. I think that it has a similar degree of whimsy that I really enjoy. But like 130 pieces of public art. And none of them have been made stickers and pins. None of them have turned into a church. None of them, I mean...
None of them have marathons being run around them?
No.
Like the whale?
This is the dream. And something interesting that Salt Lake City decided to do a couple years ago as well is increase the amount of funding that we have for public art. So historically, and this is kind of what's normal in Utah, whenever there is a development project of any kind, the RDA, the Redevelopment Agency, now called the CRA.
Community Reinvestment Agency, I think. Yes.
This is what we're here for. We're here to interpret these facts for you.
To you.
Yeah. Like, it's normally that 1% of that total project cost that's kicked in by the city has to go towards some piece of public art. They recently raised it, so it's 1.5%. Yeah. So we should expect more public art. But can we expect another whale? I mean, that's the dream, baby.
I mean, I'm trying to think, like, what's on tap? I did poke around and just see, you know, in the next year, there will be nothing like the whale. But at Glendale Regional Park, coming online around 2028, there is going to be a large-scale public art project that maybe we'll have, you know, the same splash as the whale, just also based on the size of it. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure what it's supposed to be yet. I was trying to find more information about it, but there is an artist who is working on it. His name's Matthew Mazzata. And Ali, you might be interested to know this. Matthew Mazzata did this huge art piece that you are familiar with, and that is the giant flamingo that's in the Tampa airport.
I remember this.
Love that art piece. It's shockingly. I mean, you thought the whale was big?
No,
go fly into the Tampa International Airport
the
and
giant
look at this thing.
Flamingo is so cool. It's so cool. Big that like you really only can ever appreciate its feet. That's like the level of. That's how much of the flamingo you're experiencing in your atmosphere. Is the feet.
So cool. So I don't know that he's bringing a giant flamingo or, seagull or brine shrimp or whatever to the Glendale Regional Park. But, you know, this is an artist who understands scale. So
who has
I think
vision.
Who has vision. It will be exciting to have something big and splashy on the west side of Salt Lake.
Yeah. Can I tell you about one of my favorite? Because you brought up the flamingo in Tampa, which I completely forgot is one of my faves.
I love it.
I recently learned about something happening in Minneapolis that I really think the people of Salt Lake City would embrace. So they had this windstorm in Minneapolis several years ago, and a beloved tree was damaged. It like the wind twisted the crown off of the tree, and people were really sad.
Yeah.
But this artist, this sculptor, sculpted this remaining tree into a 20-foot tall number 2 pencil. And Emily, every year, people come together. Thousands, more than 1,000 people in Minneapolis, in this neighborhood, come together and they sharpen it.
What? I don't understand. I'm going to need to watch a video. I need a visual here.
They turn the pencil on its side and it takes all these people to turn it and they sharpen the number 2 pencil. How fun is that? Like, that's the level of whimsy that I do think Salt Lake City is ready to embrace. And that's why we were able to break through with the whale.
Yeah.
But I more of that always.
Absolutely. I mean, we have done that in so many ways with this whale, with this piece of art in our community. We've embraced it, and it's just a nice community experience too. Can I tell you a fun fact about the whale that might bring a tear to your eye? I think this is why I was feeling emotional about it. But so, you know, in 2022, when this thing went up, they put inside the whale a time capsule, and it is full of artwork from kids in the neighborhood. And the inspiration for their artwork was a whale being welcomed into a world of gnomes. And that's in a time capsule inside the whale. And I just asked the Arts Council about this. They said that time capsule will be in there as long as the sculpture is there at that roundabout. And I don't know. I think that it's such an important part of our community, and we have now at this point embraced it wholeheartedly.
The kids are going to be okay.
Yeah.
The kids are going to be okay. I also have like sort of a final thought story for you on this, because I remember when this went up and there were well-meaning reporters and people who were trying to figure out if there was a relationship between whales and Salt Lake City. And this story resurfaced, which is basically that in 1888, to prove a point, a local Utah paper published a story claiming that 2 whales had been released into the Great Salt Lake and that they had given birth. One of them had given birth to like hundreds of whales, and the lake was like full of whales that were swimming around, and it was so amazing. And it was this like cool whale restoration project in the Great Salt Lake. Yeah. And they published this in the paper to prove the point that at the time, this is like, late 19th century, the Eastern press would basically print anything about Salt Lake City. And when they published it, they were like, they were like, this is a story from a Canadian paper. This is a story from a Canadian paper. And then another paper picked it up. Another Utah paper picked it up. And like, it became this sort of, I don't know, not an allegory, maybe a synecdoche for the way that Utah was perceived by the rest of the country. That like, you could say anything was happening in Utah and people would be like, yeah, I believe you. Sure. They're crazy out there. And like so how much of that was due to like a degree of religious persecution? How much of that was, whatever, like manifest destiny, all these pieces coming together. But I kind of think like, it kind of still feels true. Like Page 6 could publish anything about like, what Utahns are up to. And I think like your well-meaning liberals reading the New York Times about us would believe it. And then I also think it's like such an interesting thing to think about how we've always been aware of like how we were perceived. And so I love, whenever I see the whale, I like remember that story. And I think, it is perfect. It's actually exactly who we are.
Oh, my heart. It also really makes the case for local journalism and fact checking. But, that's a separate conversation.
And I'm picturing Mayor Erin Mendenhall explaining all of this to the mayor of Matsumoto when she was visiting our sister city in Japan and presenting him with a tiny whale sculpture. Like, I want to know her 90-second explanation.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it translated, but the gesture was there.
Yes. Gratitude all around. Okay. This has been fun. Just to say, we are so looking forward to spending 801 Day with all of you, celebrating the whale, celebrating Whale version 2.0. Join us on Saturday, August 1st at the Milk Block. We are also putting together this really fun passport that you can use to explore all of the 9 Line and get discounts and special gifts at 30, is it? Businesses along 9th South?
Yeah, more than 30 businesses. 801 Day deals, baby, all day long.
Yes. So join us for that. Your well-behaved dogs are welcome. Your kids are welcome. There'll be fun for people of all ages. Neighbors is hosting a beer garden. We're going to have some
live music
from Carousel.
With local artists. Yep.
This beautiful vendor market that we've programmed with some of our favorite artisans. 5 to 9 p.m. on Saturday, August 1st. Totally free, but man, would we be grateful if you RSVP'd at the link in our show notes. And we'll see you down there.
See you there.
One last thing before we go. We would love if you supported this show. In exchange, we'll shower you in perks. Become a CityCast Salt Lake neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. That is all for us today. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more from around town. Take care.